Hello everyone, I'm Chris and want to welcome you to Unpacking a Standard for a grade 12 A-level biology class. The class that I'm unpacking this standard for is small with only 5 students. They're all Vietnamese but have very strong English language skills. The small class size allows a lot more one-on-one with the students and that's really helpful when dealing with the standard like I've chosen. The standards that I've chosen come from the Cambridge International Examinations A-Level Biology Syllabus, course number 9700. These standards come from the topic of biodiversity and focus on data collection in the field. The standards are: explain the importance of random sampling in determining the biodiversity of an area, and use suitable methods such as frame quadrats, line transects, belt transects, and mark release recapture to assess the distribution and abundance of organisms in a local area. I've chosen these standards because the most recent exams included many questions on this subject, and I didn't feel like I'd covered it well in the past. So I wanted to unpack this standard so I would be more prepared when we get into this topic to make sure that the students are ready for any questions that they may see on their exams. The big idea for these standards is that biodiversity is the richest in the variety of organisms and that all living things are dependent on each other. The standards I've chosen help to reinforce this idea as the students involved will be able to see the amount of biodiversity and how these organisms live together in only a small study area. The project that I have planned for this standard is split into 2 parts: data collection and data reporting. The first part will be conducted in the field. We will travel to our sister campus and perform a biodiversity study. The study will be performed in an open field, and the students will use some of the methods outlined in the standard, like the frame quadrat, the line transect, and the belt transect. The capture, mark, and recapture won't be possible because of time restraints. We will work on that in class. They will identify and catalog as many species of plants and animals as possible and record as much data as possible to get an overview of the biodiversity of the campus. The second part of their project will be a report to give their findings. They will calculate biodiversity levels, construct food chains and food webs, and report on procedures used to collect the data. Their paper should include graphs, calculations, plant and animal species identifications, and insight and conclusions about the practical that they performed. To be successful on this project, the students will have to be able to organize and process the information collected. They need to be precise in the way they record the data they collect, and they must have familiarity with the scientific method and how to report on an experiment or performed scientific study. The project's plan for this will allow the students to improve their writing skills while using scientific terminology and procedures. During this project, formative assessment will be ongoing and focused on their participation in the fieldwork that they perform, and on-site questioning will allow me to see what they know and clarify things they do not understand. During the report process, the students will be monitored to make sure they have the data needed to complete the report. This will be in the form of outlines and hypotheses completed after the data collection is finished. The report they will write is one of their major assessments for the semester, and I will use a weighted rubric to score them. Their fieldwork and participation will be worth 30%, graphs and calculations 30%, ecological insight and conclusions 20%, plant and animal identification 15%, and the report structure and writing is worth 5%. The reason for the writing being worth so little is because for this subject, the data collection and analysis is the goal of the project, and I would not want to penalize a student for the writing when they have English classes for that. Well, I think the standard has been fairly well unpacked, and I'm looking forward to this project later this year. The A-level course is so lecture heavy because of the amount of information that you have to get out to the students that you really have to spend most of your class time in a lecture style just to get it out there. So it's nice to be able to step away from the whiteboard and the PowerPoint get outside for a practical like this. The students are able to collaborate and plan with only a minimal assistance from me, and we get some fresh air in the process, although the air doesn't get very fresh in Hanoi. But thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the video.